Good morning, boys and girls. Today we will be looking at lesson 22 in your book. Today, the title of our lesson is Solving Equal Groups Stories with Fractions. These problems involve two steps in order to solve. And I will be teaching you a way of solving them that involves drawing a diagram first. And so we will be drawing lots of diagrams in today's lesson. If you turn to page 106, please follow along. Reading our text, it says, here we show a collection of 6 objects. The collection is divided into 3 equal groups, and we see that 2 objects fit into each 1/3 section. If then we were asked how many objects make up 2/3 of the set, we would add 2 objects from the first third, 2 objects from the second third, and we would see that there are 4 objects total in 2/3 of this set. Looking at the second example, we have a diagram drawn and we see that there are 12 objects total into 4 equal groups, and we see that in each 1/4 group there are 3 objects. Therefore, if I asked a question like, how many objects are there in 3/4 of this group, we would add 3 plus another 3 plus another 3. For a total of 9 objects in 3/4 of the collection. Let's just simply look at some examples now. In example 1, we are asked 2/3 of the 12 musicians played guitars. How many of the musicians played the guitars? Now I know you might be thinking, oh, Mrs. Martin, I can do this in my head, but we will get to problems that you cannot solve so easily in your head. And so I want you to get in the habit now with these easier problems of drawing your diagrams in order to help you solve. First of all, this is a 2-step problem. First, we divide the 12 musicians into 3 equal groups. I know I need to divide it into 3 equal groups because the denominator of the fractional part we are being asked about is thirds. Then I'm going to find out how many musicians fit into each 1/3 group. Then we will count the number of musicians in 2 of these 3 groups because the numerator of our fractional part is about 2 parts out of the 3. Therefore, we will draw a diagram much like what you see at the bottom of the page. I'm going to do one for you a little bit larger here. Begin by drawing a long skinny rectangle. I always like writing the total number of objects at the top of the rectangle, and then perhaps also writing the fractional part that we are seeking. And again, I'm going to peek back. Our fraction that we're working with is 2/3. The denominator tells you how many equal parts to split the group into. And then you need to decide how many objects go equally into each part. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Therefore, there must be 4 musicians in each of the 3 parts. And if I look back over this diagram, I can see that 4 plus 4 plus 4 is indeed 12. Now I'm ready to go on and solve the second part and the final part of this problem. We are asked how many musicians are in 2/3 of the group. Well, in 1/3 we have 4, in 1/3 we have 4, and in 1/3 we have 4. Therefore, in 2/3 of the group we have a total of 8. Therefore, my answer to this question is 8 musicians. Be sure you include a label, and please spell much better than I just did. Let's go ahead and turn the page and look at another example together. In example 2, we're asked, or we're told initially, Corey has finished 3/4 of the 28 problems on the assignment. How many problems has Corey finished? Well, begin with your diagram. Long, skinny box. Write down the total number of problems at the top. We are told 28. The fractional part we are trying to look at is 3/4. I'll write that down as well. The denominator tells me how many equal groups to split my 28 problems into. Now decide how many problems will fit into each of the 4 parts equally. Well, 28 split into 4 equal parts gives us 7 in each part. We are now told that Corey has finished 3/4 of the problem. Therefore, how many problems has he finished? I suppose Corey could also be a girl. We would add 7 plus 7 plus 7 and find out that Corey has finished 21 problems so far. And let's just take a quick peek. And we see that we solved it correctly. And let's do another one before I send you off on your own. In example 3, we're asked how much money is 3/5 of $3? Again, long skinny table, rectangle, $3 at the top. The fractional part we're being asked about is 3/5. First, begin solving the problem by dividing your whole group of $3 into your number of equal parts. To know how many parts you need to split this into, look at your denominator. It's 5. We need to split this total of $3 into 5 equal parts. To decide how much money goes into each part equally, take $3 and divide it by 5. Now, if you cannot do this in your head, that's okay. Write out your problem and solve. Remember, when we do division that involves a decimal, simply bring your decimal straight up. 5 does not go into 3 any times without going over, so this will be a 0. 5 goes into 30 6 times without going over. 6 times 5 is 30. The difference between these two numbers is 0. Bring down your 0. How many times does 5 go into 0 without going over? It goes in 0 times. Multiply. Find your difference. There's no more to bring down, and your problem is finished. Therefore, $3 split 5 equal ways is 60 cents in each of the parts. Now we're ready to go on and wrap up solving this problem. We are asked what is 3/5 of $3. So 3 of these parts would be 60 cents plus 60 cents plus 60 cents. You could certainly solve this in your head by adding up 60 cents 3 times, or you can multiply. I know that 3 times 6 is 18. Therefore, 3 times 60 is 180. Because the amount is greater than $1, the proper form for writing our answer will be with the dollar sign, and 180 cents becomes $1.80. Let's check our answer with the work in the book. And we did it correctly. Now it's your turn, boys and girls. Please look at your lesson practice on page 108 and notice your instructions say to answer the following questions. You must draw a diagram to illustrate each problem. And remember when you're writing your answer to include all the appropriate labels. I would like you to do A, C, I'm going to go back and add B. And let's do D as well. I don't think you'll have any trouble with this. Remember to draw your diagrams.